Why do you start slipping right after you win? Not after you fail. Not when things are falling apart. After you finally get momentum, you miss a day. Then you miss the week. Then you take a break. Then you start doing that thing where you talk about your next level like it's still coming, but your behavior quietly moved back to your old level. And the crazy part is, you'll swear you're just tired. You'll swear you're protecting your peace. You'll swear you're regrouping. But deep down, you know what it is. You didn't lose the ability. You didn't lose the skill. You didn't lose the opportunity. You lost the identity you needed to hold the win. Because success doesn't just give you results, it gives you a new standard. And some people would rather sabotage the standard than live under it. That's what this is. Self-sabotage after success isn't random. It's a system. It's your brain trying to drag you back to what feels familiar, even if what's familiar is the exact thing you've been praying to escape. So if you've ever hit a milestone, money, fitness, business, relationships, career, then caught yourself doing something that makes no sense, this is for you. Because the real danger isn't failing. The real danger is winning and then panicking. Let's get something straight. Self-sabotage after success isn't usually laziness. It's fear wearing a hoodie that says, "I'm just chilling." It's your nervous system hearing, "We're doing better," and responding, "Cool, but what if we can't keep it?" Because success changes the game. It changes how people look at you. It changes what you expect from yourself. It changes what you can no longer pretend you don't know. Before success, you can live in the comfort of, "I'm still figuring it out." After success, you're exposed. You've proven you're capable. And now, you don't get to hide behind potential anymore. That's the first trigger, fear of elevated identity. When you succeed, the world doesn't just congratulate you, it quietly raises the bar. Your phone lights up. People ask what's next. Friends become watchers. Family becomes investors. You become the person everyone expects to keep winning. And if your self-image isn't strong enough to hold that weight, your brain will do something evil but effective. It will pull you back down to where expectations are lower. Not because you want to lose, but because you want to breathe. Second trigger, comfort in your old identity. This is the one that hurts because it's personal. You might say you want to be disciplined, but you've spent years being the one who tries. You might say you want to be wealthy, but you're used to being the one who struggles. You might say you want to be consistent, but inconsistency is your home. It's familiar. It's where you know how to survive. So when you succeed, it threatens the identity. You've rehearsed for years, and your brain is loyal, not to your future. Your brain is loyal to what's familiar. This is why people sabotage the relationship right when it gets healthy. This is why people blow the money right when they start earning more. This is why people quit the gym right when their body starts changing. This is why people stop posting content right when the views finally climb. Because success is a mirror, and it forces you to ask, who am I now? And if you don't have an answer, you'll retreat. Third trigger, your reward system is built for survival, not progress. Modern life trains you to respond to alarms. Bills, emails, notifications, problems, urgency, drama. Somebody needs you right now. Progress doesn't scream, progress whispers. And after you succeed, the next phase is usually less exciting. It's maintenance. It's consistency. It's repeating what works. It's boring. Your brain hates boring because boring doesn't feel like survival. So what happens? People start creating chaos to feel alive again. They pick fights. They procrastinate. They start 10 new projects. They chase novelty. They scroll. They numb. They reset. They disappear. Not because they don't want success, because the nervous system learned to feel normal in chaos. Fourth trigger, external validation becomes your fuel. This one is subtle. You succeed and you get the applause. People hype you up. Numbers go up. Likes, comments, compliments, recognition. But then the applause fades, because that's what applause does. It doesn't stay. And if you built your confidence on the crowd, when the crowd goes quiet, your identity goes quiet. So you start doubting, you start stalling, you start sabotaging, and you don't even realize it, but you're chasing the emotional hit of being celebrated more than the quiet discipline of being consistent. Fifth trigger, today's wait for permission culture. So many people have been trained to wait for the perfect moment, the perfect plan, the perfect mood, the green light. And success breaks that illusion because success proves you can move without perfection. But if you're addicted to permission, then after success, you freeze again because the next level has less structure, less certainty, more responsibility. So you stall, and the stall becomes self-sabotage. Here's the pattern. Success creates pressure. Pressure creates identity conflict. Identity conflict creates avoidance. Avoidance creates sabotage. Sabotage restores familiarity. That's the loop. And if you don't see the loop, you'll keep calling it burnout when it's really fear of becoming who you said you want to be. Now let me make it painfully real with a modern example. You hit a win, you close a big deal, you finally pay off a chunk of debt, you drop the weight, you go viral, you get the promotion, you start seeing real money. People start treating you like you're that guy now. And the next morning you wake up feeling weird, not happy, not proud, just exposed. So you do what people do in today's world. You start self-medicating with distractions that feel harmless. You scroll a little longer. You skip the workout, just today. You spend money you didn't plan to spend because you deserve it. You stop tracking your numbers because you don't want to obsess. You stop posting because you don't want to seem thirsty. You stop pushing because you don't want to burn out. And it all sounds so reasonable. That's why self-sabotage is dangerous. It doesn't show up like a villain. It shows up like a friend with a good explanation. Now let's talk about what happens when you break this cycle, because this isn't about shaming you. It's about waking you up. When you stop self-sabotaging after success, you don't just keep the win. You become the kind of person who can hold wins. That's the real flex. Anybody can get lucky once. Anybody can have a good month. Anybody can catch momentum for a season. But people who build wealth, strong bodies, strong relationships, strong businesses, strong careers, they have one thing in common. They don't collapse under the weight of their own progress. They don't fear the new standard. They build a self-image that can carry it. And I want you to understand this. Your next level doesn't require a different personality. It requires a different agreement with yourself. Right now, a lot of people live with an unspoken agreement that says, I'll do it, as long as it feels good. I'll be consistent, as long as life is calm. I'll show up, as long as I'm not uncomfortable. That agreement will always sabotage success because success always demands discomfort in a new form. Not the discomfort of starting. Most people know how to start. The discomfort of sustaining. The discomfort of being watched. The discomfort of not being able to blame circumstances anymore. The discomfort of saying, this is who I am now, and then proving it without applause. That's why the moment you succeed, the real battle begins. Because the next level is quiet. It doesn't clap for you every day. It doesn't give you instant rewards. It doesn't feel dramatic. It feels like responsibility. But here's what's on the other side when you stop sabotaging. You stop resetting your life every 2 weeks. You stop needing motivation as your permission slip. You stop living in a cycle of hype to crash, to guilt, to repeat. You start trusting yourself again. You stop negotiating with your goals like they're optional. You become reliable. And reliability is the foundation of everything you say you want. Wealth is reliability with money. Fitness is reliability with your body. Confidence is reliability with your word. Peace is reliability with your choices. So imagine this. You hit a win. And instead of panicking, you stabilize. Instead of celebrating and then disappearing, you celebrate and then repeat. Instead of letting success make you tense, you let success make you structured. That's not boring. That's power. Here's the challenge, and I'm going to keep it edgy, but clean. Stop asking, why do I keep sabotaging? As if it's a mystery. You sabotage because part of you thinks success is dangerous. So the move isn't to try harder. The move is to confront the fear behind the sabotage. Next time you catch yourself drifting after a win, ask yourself this: what standard am I afraid of living under? Because that's what you're really avoiding. You're not avoiding work. You're avoiding the new version of you that the work creates. And the moment you name that fear, you get your power back. Then ask, what am I protecting by slipping? Sometimes you're protecting comfort. Sometimes you're protecting an old identity. Sometimes you're protecting your relationships. Because your growth changes the room. Sometimes you're protecting your ego. Because if you stay at the edge, you can keep saying you could. Sometimes you're protecting your right to escape. And once you see what you're protecting, you can decide if it's worth the cost. Because make no mistake, self-sabotage is never free. It costs time. It costs self-respect. It costs momentum. It costs the future you keep claiming you want. So here's a direct action you can take without turning your life into a checklist. Pick one thing you do that signals sabotage after success, not 10. 1. Maybe it's disappearing. Maybe it's overspending. Maybe it's skipping workouts. Maybe it's procrastinating. Maybe it's starting new projects to avoid finishing the one that matters. Maybe it's numbing with scrolling. Maybe it's picking fights. Maybe it's letting one missed day become a missed month. Choose the pattern, and then choose a standard that interrupts it. Not a plan, not a 30-day challenge, a standard. A standard sounds like, when I win, I stabilize. When I succeed, I repeat. When I feel the urge to disappear, I do the smallest proof of follow-through instead. Because that's the secret. You don't break self-sabotage with intensity. You break it with proof. And proof doesn't need to be dramatic. Proof needs to be consistent. Your brain doesn't believe your dreams. It believes your receipts. So, if you want to stop sabotaging after success, stop building your identity on feelings and start building it on evidence. Now, here's the harder ending, and I want you to sit with it. Most people aren't scared of failure. They're scared of the moment success becomes permanent. Because permanent success means you can't go back to the old excuses. It means you can't blame your circumstances forever. It means you can't keep talking about potential like it's a personality trait. It means you have to live like the person you said you were becoming on a random Tuesday with no applause. And if you don't upgrade your identity, your old habits will drag you back down, not because you're weak, but because you never built the internal structure to hold the win. So here's your line in the sand. You either become the kind of person who can handle the standard, or you will keep sabotaging every time you touch it. And listen, nobody is coming to rescue your future. Nobody is going to break the pattern for you. Nobody is going to protect you from your own comfort. Nobody is going to show up and make your next level feel safe. That's your job. And the good news is, it's simpler than people make it. Stop disappearing after progress. Stop negotiating after wins. Stop resetting like you're allergic to consistency. Build proof. Build structure. Build standards. Because once you become reliable, the sabotage stops having power over you. And the next time you win, you won't panic. You'll hold it. You'll repeat it. And then you'll realize something most people never do. It wasn't the world holding you back. It was the part of you that didn't believe you were allowed to stay at the top.